The Adventures of Tom Sawyer by Mark Twain. Longman Simplified English Series. Read by TAnyarat Krudtung. Chapter 15. Back from the Dead. But there was no joyfulness in the village that Saturday afternoon. The Harvest and Aunt Polly's family were overcome with grief, and Aunt Shura quite possessed the village. The villagers talked little, but they sighed often. The Saturday holiday seemed a burden to the children. They were not interested in their sports and gradually gave them up. In the afternoon, Becky Treasure found herself wandering about the desert schoolyards and feeling very unhappy, but she saw nothing there to comfort her. Presently, she stopped and said to herself, "It was just here. Oh, if he was to do it again, I wouldn't say that. He was very smart. I wouldn't say that for the world. But he's gone now, and I've never seen him anymore." This thought made her burst into tears, and she walked slowly away. Then a group of boys and girls, Tom and George, playmate, came by and stood looking over the fence and talking in respectful tones of how Tom did so, and so the last time they saw him, and how Joseph this and that. When Sunday school hour was finished the next morning, the church bell began to ring very slowly and solemnly. Instead of blinking in the usual way, the villagers began to gather, staying a moment in the entrance of the church to converse in whisper about the sad event. None could remember that when the little church had been so full before, there was finally a waiting pause, and then Aunt Polly entered with Sid and Mary, followed by Harper family, out in deep black. The villagers and the old ministers as well rose respectfully and stood until the mothers were seated in front. The minister prayed, and a moving scared song was sung. As the service proceeded, the minister drew such pictures of the charming ways and the rare promise of the lost children that really saw there. Thinking that he recognized these pictures, felt sad in remembering that he had only seen faults in the poor boys. The minister described some good deeds in the life of the departed, which showed their sweet, generous natures. The villagers became more and more moved as the sad tales went on, till at last there was not a dry eye in the whole church. Among the unused seats upstairs, there was a slight noise which nobody noticed. A moment later, the church door creaked. The minister raised his streaming eyes above his handkerchief and stood as if turned to stone, gazing in the direction of the door. All turned round, rose to their feet and stared as if they could not believe their eyes, while the 3 days boys came marching up the middle of the church, Tom leading, Joe next, and Huck last. They had been hidden upstairs, listening to their own funeral service. Aunt Polly Mary and the husband threw themselves upon their recovered ones, covered them with kisses, and poured out thanksgiving, while poor Huck stood ashamed and uncomfortable in his legs, not knowing what to do or where to hide from so many unfriendly eyes. He started to keep away, but Tom seized him and said, "Aunt Polly, it isn't fair. Somebody must be glad to see Huck." And so they shouted, "I'm glad to see him, poor motherless boys." And the loving attention which Aunt Polly showed upon him made him more uncomfortable than he was before. Suddenly the minister shouted at the top of his voice, "Praise God, from whom all blessings flow. Sing, and pour your hearts into it." And they did, while the grand old song shook the roof. Tom Sawyer the pirate looked aloud upon the environment children about him, and confessed in his heart that this was the proudest moment of his life.